Have you ever experienced something so extraordinary that it changed not just your life, but the lives of millions who came after you? On May 13th, 1917, 3 children in a small Portuguese village experienced exactly that. Stay with me to discover how their remarkable story transformed a quiet hillside into one of the most significant religious sites in the world, and what their experience can teach us about faith, courage, and hope in our own lives. The story I'm about to share has inspired millions of pilgrimages and continues to fascinate believers and skeptics alike over a century later. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just what happened on that spring day in Portugal, but why it still resonates with people around the world today. Portugal in 1917 was a country in turmoil. The First World War raged across Europe, claiming millions of lives. A new secular Republican government had seized power, creating tensions with the deeply Catholic population. In the small village of Aljustrel, near Fátima, life continued much as it had for centuries, with families working the land and tending their flocks. On May 13th, 3 young cousins were tending sheep in an area known as Cova da Iria. Lucia dos Santos, age 10, and her cousins Francisco Marto, 9, and his sister Jacinta, 7, were ordinary children from devout Catholic families. What happened that day would make them among the most famous children in Catholic history. As they played in the fields, the children suddenly saw a flash of light. Thinking it might be lightning, they decided to head home. But then, above a small holm oak tree, they saw what Lucia later described as a lady more brilliant than the sun. According to Lucia's accounts, the woman wore a white mantle with a gold border and held a rosary. She asked the children to return to the same spot on the 13th of each month for 6 months. She also requested they pray the rosary daily for world peace and an end to the war. News of the children's experience spread quickly. Many dismissed their story, including their own families initially. But local authorities were particularly hostile. Portugal's secular government viewed religious claims with suspicion. The children faced ridicule, threats, and even imprisonment when they refused to recant their story. Despite the opposition, the children returned to the site each month as instructed. With each visit, larger crowds accompanied them. During these apparitions, the lady revealed 3 secrets to the children, prophecies that would later become the subject of intense interest and speculation. The first 2 secrets, later revealed by Lucia, concerned visions of hell, predictions about the end of World War I, warnings about a future war, and the spread and eventual fall of communism in Russia. The third secret remained undisclosed until the year 2000, when the Vatican interpreted it as a prediction of the 1981 assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. As word spread, the lady promised the children that on her final visit in October, she would perform a miracle so that all may believe. By October 13th, approximately 70,000 people had gathered at the site, believers and skeptics alike, including newspaper reporters and photographers. The day was cold and rainy. The crowds waited in the downpour, many skeptical that anything would happen. The children arrived and knelt in prayer. Suddenly, witnesses reported that the rain stopped and the clouds parted. What happened next became known as the miracle of the sun. Thousands of witnesses reported that the sun appeared as a spinning disk, casting multicolored light across the landscape. It appeared to zigzag toward the earth before returning to its normal position. Perhaps most remarkably, witnesses noted that their previously soaked clothes had completely dried. Even secular newspapers reported on the phenomenon. Avelino de Almeida, a journalist from the anti-clerical newspaper O Século, who had come to debunk the children's claims, wrote about the extraordinary events he witnessed. Though scientific explanations had been proposed, from mass hallucination to atmospheric phenomenon, many remain convinced that something truly miraculous occurred that day. As the lady had predicted during the apparitions, Francisco and Jacinta both died young during the influenza pandemic. Francisco in 1919 and Jacinta in 1920. Before their deaths, they maintained the truth of their experiences despite pressure to deny them. Lucia entered a convent and lived a long life, dying in 2005 at age 97. Throughout her life, she continued to report occasional visitations from the Virgin Mary and wrote several memoirs about the Fátima experiences. In 1930, after extensive investigation, the Catholic Church officially recognized the apparitions as worthy of belief. Today, Fátima is one of the most visited Catholic pilgrimage sites in the world, attracting millions of visitors annually. The connection to Fátima grew even stronger after the 1981 assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. The attempt occurred on May 13th, the anniversary of the first apparition. The Pope credited Our Lady of Fátima with saving his life and later placed the bullet that struck him in the crown of the statue at the Fátima shrine. In 2017, Pope Francis canonized Francisco and Jacinta Marto, making them the youngest non-martyred saints in Catholic history. The process for Lucia's beatification began shortly after her death. What makes this story resonate so deeply, even for those who may not share the Catholic faith? Perhaps it's the universal themes it embodies: the innocent wisdom of children, standing firm in your truth even when doubted, finding hope in the darkest times, and the possibility that there's more to our existence than what we can ordinarily perceive. The story of Fátima reminds us that extraordinary moments can emerge from ordinary lives. 3 shepherd children with no power or status changed the course of religious history through their unwavering commitment to what they experienced. As you move through your own life, consider: what truths do you hold that others might doubt? What courage might it take to stand by your deepest convictions? And what unexpected messages might come through the most unlikely messengers? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever visited Fátima? Or have you experienced a moment that seemed to transcend ordinary explanation? Don't miss tomorrow's video, where we'll explore another transformative moment that shaped our understanding of the world around us. History isn't just about the past, it's about how we make sense of our place in the ongoing human story. If you've enjoyed this journey to Fátima today, hit that like button and subscribe to History Sparks for more illuminating stories from our shared human experience.